Yeah, great question. I've actually worked with clients in Australia and overseas, global companies that have a presence in Australia. I recently worked with a leadership coaching client who was based in Melbourne, and surprisingly, in these times, he was really keen to have in-person coaching. So that was why the company reached out to me, knowing that I was Melbourne-based. Again, that came through my network. But yes, very much looking to partner with organizations.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. Before Purple Circle, I started and scaled several 7 and 8 figure career coaching businesses myself and consulted with 2 career coaching businesses that are now doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or just building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. Today my guest is Rebecca Cattran. Rebecca is a change leadership coach, founder of Popolo Plus. Rebecca helps leaders navigate change with clarity, confidence, and heart. She's based in Melbourne. She is a trusted advisor, facilitator, and budding author who's passionate about building better workplace experiences. Her people-first approach empowers teams to lead through transformation with purpose and strength. Rebecca, we're glad to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for being here, Rexhen.
Tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to become a leadership coach.
So essentially, being a coach for me really combines my passion for people and my belief that, we have so much potential within us. We just need that self-belief. And coaching is such a powerful way of developing ourselves and developing each other. So I feel like it was a really natural place for me to be.
Mhm. And so far, I know it's not been a long time, but how does the journey look like from the moment that you even started this to where you are at today?
Great question, because it's been like a journey. It's had a number of different stages. So I actually initially trained as a coach over 10 years ago, and it was very much coming from the perspective of leading a team and wanting to lead in a different way and see that I could do better. As a result of that coach training experience, I actually came to see what coaching can do for others. And so really committed to training as a coach to be able to share the power of coaching more broadly. So the
Mhm.
latest stage of my journey is essentially, in the past 12 months, I've fully stepped into my own business, and coaching is part of what I do as far as supporting leaders navigate change, which, as we know, is all around us at the moment.
And is there a specific group of individuals that you work with, and what transformation do you have them achieve in your leadership coaching program?
Yeah, great question. So I very much see that the people I work with best are people in early and mid-career, and they're often change leaders that are in workplaces navigating change, either change that is impacting them or change that is impacting their teams. And so the focus I bring is from a leadership development perspective, also more broadly from a career development, and also indeed career transition. Again, with the current environment, we're certainly seeing a significant amount of organisations making redundancies, and I do a lot of work in the career transition space.
And I want to edit this a little bit because I said it's not been too long. I was just looking at I think I confused you with a different coach.
No,
It's been
that's
12,
okay.
it's been 12 years and 2 months.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
No, that's fine. I don't
okay.
look, kind of, I'm not precious about that because, yeah, I suppose it's that whole sense about, and I feel like I kind of spoke to it. So it's up to you, Rexon. Like, I'm happy to play it again. You're driving the show here. So whatever
Okay.
works for you, just let me know.
Cool. So I'll just ask the question again. I'll just make sure that I ask it correctly. I don't know why I thought I just had a guest right before you, and she was only doing it for like a year and a half. So I thought I kind of got confused. But yeah. So
No worries.
so it's been 12 years and basically more than 12 years that you've been doing this. How does the journey look like from the moment that you started your coaching business to where you are at today?
Yes, well, it certainly has been a journey. I love that word, Rexhen. Essentially 12 years ago was when I decided to increase my skills in coaching by doing coach training. At the time, I was leading a team and saw that there was a better and a different way to lead, to get the best out of my people and also the best out of me. So I started with a particular intention. And then when I did my coach training, I realized how the power of coaching in developing others as well as developing myself, and made a decision then and there to start increasing my coaching practice and my coaching focus through taking every opportunity I could to coach. And part of that was driven by the importance of building up my coaching hours to then be able to apply for credentialing with the International Coaching Federation, which is the global professional association for coaches. So I made decisions then and there. It's certainly taken a time to get to where we are today. So it's very much been something that was part of what I did, but not the primary focus. Whereas in the past 12 months, I've now stepped into my own business where coaching is a big part of what I do in how I support leaders in navigating change in organizations today.
And you mentioned this a little bit in the beginning as well, but is there a specific group of individuals that you typically work with? And is there, like, could you share some more about the transformation that you help them achieve?
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like the people I work with best are early mid-career professionals, and they're very much leaders that are growing themselves as well as growing their teams and implementing and driving change in organizations. So the focus that I bring to the work that I do is both from a leadership development perspective, but also too from a career development perspective. And increasingly in today's market, I'm doing a lot in the career transition coaching space as well.
And how do you go about finding your clients? So what marketing channel works best for you? Where do you find your clients currently?
So again, really interesting point that we're having this conversation, because to date, my clients have mostly come to me through referrals through my network, and that's been very much where I've been focusing on coaching individuals. Where I'm shifting to now is looking to partner more with organizations. So as far as positioning myself in that change leadership coaching space, it's very much looking to develop those partnerships with organizations, and seeing that an important part of that is about building my social media presence across multiple platforms. So right now I'm in the process of building my accounts on Instagram and Facebook, which are coming soon.
Well, congratulations on that. And but when it comes to building these partnerships, are you thinking like companies in Australia, or do you typically only work in Australia, or is it worldwide?
Yeah, great question. I've actually worked with clients in Australia and overseas, global companies that have a presence in Australia. I recently worked with a leadership coaching client who was based in Melbourne, and surprisingly, in these times, he was really keen to have in-person coaching. So that was why the company reached out to me, knowing that I was Melbourne-based. Again, that came through my network. But yes, very much looking to partner with organizations that the industries that I see as having most alignment with my experience and my expertise very much sit in the space of utilities, transport, government, and also financial services. I've had the benefit to work in a very broad range of organizations and industries across a range of sectors. So it gives me that deep understanding firsthand of what it's like to work in those organizations, which really helps my credibility as a coach when I'm working with these clients.
And do you have like a strategy in mind right now to partner with potential companies as a coach?
That's literally a work in progress right now, Rexon, as far as identifying target organizations and really tapping into my network to explore how does your organization develop leaders? What does that look like from a coaching perspective? And what opportunities are there to be part of your team? Often these organizations have coaching panels where leaders whose development is being supported by the organization have the opportunity to tap into and choose the coach that works for them. So very much in the process of exploring and actioning those opportunities as we speak.
Yeah, cool. I really like that. And do you have, when it comes to the future goals, apart from you partnering with these companies, which is obviously one of the milestones that you're working on, do you have any
Mm.
other goals that you're working towards the next 1 to 3 years? And potentially, if you want to go broader than 1 to 3 years, you could also share that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so thinking about this, to me, it's that constant balance that I'm learning when you're in your own business about working in the business and working on the business. So for me, it's as much about who do I want to work with, is also how am I positioning myself as a coach that people choose to work with. And so a couple of things there that are on my radar for the next 12 months. One of those I mentioned before, my credentialing path with the International Coaching Federation. So I'm currently an associate certified coach, and my credential is due for renewal next year. I'm looking based on the hours that I've been gathering and the requirements to apply for a professional certified coach, which is the next level up. And this is all about differentiation, right? Because credentialing is all about global standards. And essentially, what that means is that people know that they're working with someone that they can trust, that is very much a seasoned professional and has got the ethics and integrity around that. So, working towards my PCC is one of those goals. The other thing, as you mentioned earlier, which is really exciting and another journey in itself, potentially the subject of a whole another podcast, is I'm writing a book. And my book's called Choosing a Conscious Career, and it's very much about supporting early career professionals as they navigate their career journeys based on my own experience. Because again, finding your way in the workforce, particularly for women, where you think about some of the additional challenges that women experience in life with caring responsibilities and what does that mean for my career. I'll be frank, I took a while to find my way. And so I think sharing the path that I've taken for the benefit of others and sort of tapping into different generational perspectives on that is something that I'm keen to share. And it ties in really nicely with my work in the career coaching space and also my deep expertise around leading change.
And for this book, is it targeting early career leaders specifically, or it's not specific to leaders only?
Yeah, great question. So I'm very much seeing as early career professionals. So, when we think about our career, we tend to think about it in thirds. So sort of thinking about people in the first 10 years of their career. That's very much my primary audience. So people might be fresh out of uni as a graduate, or they might be, in their first, second job and just go, hang on, I'm I'm not sure where I'm heading next. I'm not sure what the long game looks like. And so it's as much about giving people a inspiration for action is also understanding how to navigate a lot of the challenges that we experience in the workplace day to day. That often, in
Hmm.
my case, I learned through experience rather
And
than knowing what to look out for. A really
let
simple
me check.
example of that is
And
actually
oh,
understanding the people skills that it takes to be effective, uh, as far as how you work with others, as much as what that means for you.
what resources or support has been most valuable for you in growing your coaching business throughout these years?
So I think for me, recognizing that I'm in the early stages of my business, it's been really important to reach out to people for support, and support really on a couple of fronts. One is about tapping into expertise in areas that complement my own skill set, but also to people that are in a similar space to me, but further down the road. So that whole sense of, rather than me, again, learning by experience, how can I learn from others? And in terms of guidance about what I need to be looking out for and what I need to be paying attention to.
Hmm.
The other thing too, and I've literally just been doing this in the past week that I think is really important, is taking time out regularly to plan and to review progress. So essentially, it's really easy to get caught up on the day to day and to lose sight of where you're focusing your energy and effort and what's making the biggest difference.
And is there something you'd say you wish you had known first when you started scaling your coaching business, an unexpected lesson learned?
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose just recognizing the difference and the importance of that professional skill set and that business skill set. And, being in business is something that is still very new to me. And so there's a whole lot of considerations around running a business and running a successful business that are important as far as requiring your time and attention.
And what would you say are one of those important things about running a business that you've noticed in the last year?
Yeah, and I've mentioned it earlier, Rexhen, which is around that balancing that it's almost like having two parts of your brain working and working on the business, right? So important for me to be building my profile of my business, but also continuing to think about identifying and pursuing potential leads. So it's almost like that long-term thinking and that short-term action is required, day to day and across the course of my working week.
And right now, what would you say are the biggest challenges you're facing in scaling your coaching business? I would imagine you mentioned you are looking to find new partnerships. What is the challenge in you finding new partnership right now? What is like a bottleneck? What is an issue?
Well, it's actually interesting because right now, my biggest challenge, if you think about what helps you do that, the thing that really comes to mind for me is about managing my energy because being in business is a hard road, particularly when you're a solopreneur, and it can be exhausting. So it's about how am I showing up every day and being my best self. So actually, the biggest challenge for me is around looking after myself so that I've got the energy and the right mindset to be moving forward. So what helps me do that is I've got a pretty good routine of daily exercise. So I pretty much do something every day that gets me moving. I do a lot of yoga, which is amazing. Highly recommend for anyone out there, particularly a lot of guys are not so into yoga. You just can't beat yoga. And also, literally, what I'm doing later today is heading off on a mini break. So, actually taking time out regularly, not just to go change a scene, but also provide a fresh perspective and potentially create new thinking as a result of that. So, really looking to look after my business is an important challenge that I manage daily.
And I assume that that's also one of the tips you probably also offer to your clients as well on how they show up as leaders, and how important that is to them as well, just like it is for you.
Spot on. So I love that you say that because so often, when you're coaching a client, it's like holding up a mirror as far as what works for knowing what works for yourself and therefore what you are encouraging and in others. So yeah, spot on.
hmm And what advice would you give to other leadership coaches who are going to be looking at this episode and are looking to scale their impact?
Yeah, look, I think again, I'm going to hop on my professional coaching bandwagon here. So first of all, every coach needs a coach, as far as not just for your own practice, but also for your own business. So, and that's really, again, demonstrating in real life what we're recommending to others, which is about that support network and the kind of support that really makes a difference. And coaching is a huge part of that. The other aspect of that as well is recognizing the importance of building credibility and creating confidence for our clients, which is where the credentialing piece comes in for me. So, as an ICF member and also as a credential coach, it gives me a lot of confidence in terms of being able to share with my clients what coaching is not, to make sure that I'm working with the right people. Because a lot of people think they want or need a coach, but actually what they're looking for is a mentor. And that's quite different. So I think being really clear, it's really important for us as professional coaches to be really clear on the services we're offering and when is it best to work with us and when is it best to work with others. So people are getting the results that they expect.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. And for anyone who wants to connect with you or find you, they can find you on LinkedIn at Rebecca
Correct.
Cattran. They can also find you on populusplus.com.au if they wanted to. Actually, let me correct that. popoloplus.com.au. Initially, I said Populus Plus. So want to make sure that the link is correct. And again, let me know if there's any other way that people can reach out to you if they needed to.
Beautiful. So little bit, it's a bit of a mouthful, but again, there's a story behind my business. So Popolo is actually Italian for people. I've got Mediterranean blood, and so really identify strongly with Italian culture, and I love a lot about Italy. So Popolo Plus, in a nutshell, is people potential. It's all about getting the best out of people. So in terms of how people can get in touch with me, yes, via my website, via my LinkedIn profile, as you mentioned, other social accounts are in the works. And yeah, you can jump onto my website and pop me an email if you're interested in conversation or learning more. And yeah, I want to thank you, Rexhen, for the opportunity to have this chat today and share more about my passion for my coaching and what I'm working on in my business right now. Yeah, hopefully that gives some ideas and inspiration to others.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for coming to the show, Rebecca.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. To learn more about Purple Circle, our community, and how we can help you grow your business, visit joinpurplecircle.com.